If I had to come up with one word to describe AAA game developers in 2025, it would be entitlement. Whether it's Halo or Borderlands or Assassin's Creed, they still think they can slap your favorite game series logo on a box of dog shit and we will keep buying it every time like the good little piggies we are. And there was a time this was true, but everything started changing because of you guys in 2024. Skull and Bones, they'll buy it because of Black Flag. Outlaws, they'll buy it because it's Star Wars. AC Shadows, they'll buy it because it's Assassin's Creed. After seeing the spectacular failure of all of these games, perhaps Ubisoft is waking up. When you don't prioritize what gamers want and instead make terrible games with ham-fisted political messaging, we have no problem closing our wallets. But my favorite part was being called a racist and a bigot when we didn't buy their dogshit game. Eurogamer gargled corporate cock with this Assassin's Creed headline, "The devastating impact of AC Shadows' diversity and inclusivity backlash." Ah yes, when all else fails, just call us racist. Is it possible we just think a non-historical black samurai in Japan in the 1500s is kind of retarded and obviously virtue signaling? Oh no, it's because we're, quote, racist. That's right. After X-Defiant and Skull and Bones came out and everyone hated them, Yves Guillemot, Ubisoft's CEO, said this, "At Ubisoft, we condemn these hateful online attacks." Like, dude, sorry? People are allowed to complain about games online, and it doesn't mean you're the victim just because people don't like your game. See, he's trying to paint the poor old billion-dollar Ubisoft as the victim of personal attacks online. Anybody can see through this, and it still didn't make anybody buy his game. But again, entitlement is what's really at the bottom of this. Ubisoft truly believes they are entitled to your money. They're going to put 7 gay relationships in the next Assassin's Creed game. No hot women in sight. Terrible plot. Terrible gameplay, but because it says Assassin's Creed on the box, they are entitled to your money from your wallet. Moving on to EA, what about Dragon Age The Failguard? EA, I'd imagine at one point thought, it's a Dragon Age game, of course people will buy it. In a recent interview, a former employee of EA said this about how the company officially views RPG fans. The cave is where the nerds are. You make an RPG and the nerds in the cave will always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. He goes on, you didn't have to try and appeal to them. You didn't have to worry about the nerds not showing up. They will always show up. Isn't it great that EA just views you as a nerd in a cave who will always show up for whatever slop they produce? This is why they put a troon goblin in charge of the game. This is why they took DEI and ESG funding and packed Veilguard with every broken LGBTQ degenerate imaginable. Because they know it's Dragon Age and you're just going to show up and buy it regardless, right? Kind of fun to prove these companies wrong. I'm hoping to do a full video on this game soon, but nobody talks about how incredibly woke Immortals of Avium was in 2023. And this game was released by woke EA. Of course it has a black girl boss. Of course it has Deborah Wilson. Of course there's troon weirdos in it. Of course it bombed and the studio closed. But I'll talk about that another day. Again, the entitlement of these companies. They believe they are entitled to your money just because they slapped a Dragon Age logo on a box of dog shit. But finally, I want to get into the main topic of this video, and that is your boy, Randy Pitchford, the creator of Borderlands. To let you know how cucked this guy is, he one time went on stage at an event and let everyone know he unfollowed someone on Twitter for being sexist. He then proceeds to play a song on guitar called "Nobody Likes a Bigot." Grrr. So this dude for sure has no problem leasing his wife out from the view of his cuck chair. But anyway, Borderlands has fallen on some hard times lately. 1 and 2 were huge hits in their day, and I thought Borderlands 2 was actually pretty funny back in 2012. Guys, the problem is a lot has changed in the humor department the past 13 years. Borderlands and Deadpool are kind of the epitome of millennial humor, and it's had a good run, but it's kind of over now. I never played much Borderlands 3, but I heard it had a bunch of cringy anti-racism jokes and is chock full of troons, LGBTQ weirdos, non-binary weirdos, and all that other nonsense. Last summer, if you remember, the Borderlands movie bombed spectacularly at the box office and was just the latest in a long line of woke Hollywood movies failing. I remember a meme going around saying, hey, if you want an empty place to fight somebody, go see Borderlands because there will be nobody in the theater. But bringing us up to the present, as you can see, old Randy is in a bit of a tight spot now. I don't think they lost money on the Borderlands movie because they were just leasing the IP out to somebody else, but Bro was getting super defensive about it on Twitter last summer. So he really, really needs Borderlands 4 to be a success, and the trailers that have been coming out for the game don't really have anybody excited about it. I mean, you can see right here the latest trailer is 37,000 upvotes to 8.6 thousand downvotes. That's not the worst ratio ever, but it's certainly not good. A couple gameplay trailers have come out, and I gotta say the game looks just really, really slow and very, very safe and just really predictable kind of formulaic Borderlands stuff. I think Asmon called it a 6, and if you just want to play mindless slop with your friends, it could be fine, but I'm sure as hell not paying full price for this game. Well, to really accelerate the speed at which Borderlands 4 is about to flop, Randy thought it would be a good idea to go on Twitter and respond to some fans. One fan sent him this on Twitter. Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increase of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have to have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Randy responded by saying this, A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor beach in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Yeah, dude, telling this Gen Z kid one of your boomer ice cream stories is really going to make him want to go out and buy your game. So yeah, great job, Randy. Call anybody who doesn't want to pay $80 for your game not a real fan. But again, do you hear the entitlement behind what he just said? He believes he is entitled to your money for this game just because they have slapped a Borderlands logo on the box. He's going to inject his queer, degenerate politics in it. He's going to ram in a bunch of gay shit. And because you're just a little piggy who eats nothing but slop, you're going to like it and you're going to pay $80 for it. Because, hey, Mario Kart is $80, right? This dude is ridiculous. It's crazy to think that at one point in his career, Randy was working on the Brothers in Arms games, which I love, by the way. But at the end of the day, I think the dude is just an opportunist who wants to be liked by the people around him. He adopted woke politics because all of the woke troon goblins in Austin that work for him align with those politics. He just wants to be liked. What's even better is the next day, Randy doubled down on this idiotic tweet. May 31st, Randy tweeted this. For our real fans who may be cost sensitive, the very awesome and incredibly fun smash hit video game Tiny Tina's Wonderland is free this week on the Epic Game Store. Please enjoy this free gift by grabbing your free copy here. Free. Really cool move, bro. Let's make fun of the people who said your game isn't worth $80 by insinuating they are poor and need free stuff now. That should work out for you, Randy. But yeah, guys, I don't ever see myself buying or playing this game, and I really like first-person stuff. Somebody told me at the end of Borderlands 3, there's like some ridiculous girl boss feminist ending at the end of Borderlands 3, and so yeah, I'm probably never going to touch a Borderlands game ever again. So guys, I'm going to get out of here, but in case it wasn't still obvious, the entire AAA video game industry is still on fire. AA games right now are doing fine. Space Marine 2, Expedition 33, all of these mid-tier games that actually want their audience to be happy, what a concept, are doing great right now. I was talking with a AAA developer recently in an off-the-record conversation, and he was basically saying that the problem with these AAA companies is they're insulated from failure. They're like 6 months or 6 years away from the consequences of the failure of their game. Whereas these small studios, like the guys who did Expedition 33, it's like 50 people working in a basement on this game. Guys, all of those people are going to lose their job immediately if the game fails. Whereas at a big AAA company, you're insulated from failure. Because in the past, these AAA companies, they make so much money and they have so many games that your game can fail and you won't still get fired. Whereas these small AA companies, if your game fails, everybody's out of there, and so you have a very strong motivation to make the game good. But yeah, these AAA companies with thousands of employees, they're insulated from failure, they're insulated from getting real feedback from their fans, and they're just in these own personal ideological echo chambers where they all just agree with each other about this troon nonsense and this troon goblin garbage that they keep putting in games. So boys, I say we all get together and we agree that for the next 5 years, we're not buying a single game from EA, Ubisoft, Naughty Dog, or Activision. Because literally, if none of us buy their games, they will go out of business. That is how it works. Like, how cool would it be if 10 years from now, all of these AAA companies were gone and AA developers, like the guys who did Expedition 33, had grown and were taking their place? It would be incredible. So, all right, boys, I'm out of here.